I've I don't think there's any secret that I'm a massive, 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 massive Teddy Riley fan. He's
Really?
probably yeah,
I didn't know that.
he's probably
You a Teddy Riley fan?
he's probably my link
Okay.
into music. So when I used to get into music, it was all through him and stuff. So, but I was trying to think about, do I have what are my top five Teddy Riley tracks, whether they're
Mm.
and I can include remixes of features and stuff. And I just said, okay, I wanted to find out your top five, and I can
Oh, okay.
even talk about my top five, and maybe I'll start this time and put up my number one would be from Keith Sweat's "Make It Last Forever" album. Something just ain't right.
Oh, something just ain't right.
I just love the
Oh, okay.
intro, the intro, and I didn't. To Teddy said that he was his hand. He was so small when he did that, and he had to use when he was doing the keyboard run. He had to chop it and then do another run just because he couldn't get to one end of the piano
Oh.
together. But but I just, we have in rock, they have all those guitar solos and stuff. When you think about Guns N' Roses and Aerosmith and all those people, and to me that was like just an amazing way he just flew.
Right,
That was
right.
separated Teddy from a lot of it's just how he was funky with his keyboards. Different than Jam and Lewis and stuff. So that's one of my
And
ringtones now.
I'm wondering, was he producing like the Keith Sweat album when he was in the hood? Was
Yeah,
he?
yeah, yeah. He was
That's the
still in
thing,
St.
like
Nick's. Yeah, still yeah. He
I
did.
that's one thing I really admire, that see how he's given limited resources and he's still able to outdo some of the big names in the industry at that age, and with the resources he's in the hood making beats in his house or basement or whatever,
Yeah.
and he's making these like innovative styles and
Mm,
drum patterns and things, so it's
yeah.
cool.
That was yeah. So
All right.
that's in my top five. What about you?
So for me, I'm going to put a song that I don't think a lot of people may remember, but this is one of my personal favorite Teddy Riley productions. It was on MC Hammer's Funky Headhunter album,
Okay, okay.
and it's called "Don't Stop."
Don't stop
Remember
till
that?
you get. Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, yeah. And he did that in Pumps and a Bump, and I was like, okay, he did do that.
Yeah. Was he credited for Pumps in the Bump? Because I don't see his name there.
Yeah, no, he did the Pumps and the Bumps.
Okay, because
Um,
it's
uh, uh,
somebody else's name on there.
there's somebody
But
else's name.
I when I heard Pumps in the Bump, I thought that was Teddy, and I'm like, that's Teddy, and I'm like, I was telling everybody that's Teddy, and then I looked, I'm like, that's not Teddy. Wow. But Don't Stop is just as funky, so I like that one. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
are you
no,
reading?
yeah, no. I'll quickly because I always knew that it was um I always track listings. I always knew. Oh, wait a minute, George Clinton,
Right, told you.
Spider-Man. Oh,
It's the Mandela effect. I mean, is it Berenstain Bears or Berenstain
un,
Bears? I mean, it's one of those those things where you think something.
unless he oh, that's strange. I could have
Right.
yeah, because I thought
This is a mystery. We'll have to ask him when we get him on as a guest. Did he?
yes. Yeah, I thought he did, but his name is not on there because they've got all the okay. He's not on there.
I'm just as
Okay.
shocked as you are. I thought that was a Teddy Riley track. It sounds like it's got the voter quarter. I don't know how to pronounce it. That
Unless
talk box
okay.
thing.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'll look at that later. So my next one,
Yes, we're gonna
um,
have to do some research on that.
the next one I'll say
Investigation.
is "Don't Leave Me"
Don't leave me. Okay.
by the Winans.
Oh, okay. 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 By the Winans.
The
Okay.
Winans. So
I think I remember that one.
because I know that people might think, oh, it's the Blackstreet one. I said, nope, it was the
Right.
Winans. So he
You got me.
initially he did three songs on their return on their album. He did "It's Time," which in fact that was their biggest
I
selling
like that one.
album. He did "It's Time."
Yeah.
He did "A Friend," which featured Aaron Hall, and then Don't Leave. I think it's called Don't Leave, not Don't Leave Me. I didn't like the Eddie F remix that was in the video because it wasn't. But the original track, the so this is Teddy with Dave Way, and when Dave Way was doing his engineering, and he had a very distinct snares in his drums. So if you think of Do Me Right and Kissing Game, there's a way his so that Don't Leave is dum. It's just then he uses the synthesizers at a steady pace, and then just the drums just continue. I just love that track. Don't leave. Oh, it's one of my favorite tracks. And as I said, I just didn't like the remix that Eddie F did, and that was released with the video, and it just didn't really push the song after its time. So, but that's one of my all-time favorite Teddy tracks, and it's
I'm gonna have to
not
go
a
back
bit.
and check that one out. I
Yeah,
don't
it's on
remember.
the
I mean, I
album.
remember it, but I don't remember it as much. I remember this. It's time. I remember it's time to make a change. But I don't. I'm gonna probably have to go back and
Yeah,
check that
but
one
get
out.
the album version, not the not the Eddie F remix.
Not the okay.
Yeah.
All right. For me, the next one I'm going to put is "Roughneck" by MC Light. I love that beat. That's one of my favorite
Okay, well,
Teddy Riley beats.
uh,
And I
Mucho will have
remember,
an issue with that because it's Mucho and Akil and Markel, the three of them. So
well, my eyes
Teddy
tell
did
me
the engine.
it's
He did the mixing. He did the mixing.
so Teddy didn't do that one. Okay,
He did the
that's
mixing. He
interesting.
did the mixing.
He did the
Because
mixing.
yeah, he did the mixing. He mixed it and engineered it. But because remember Mucho did say that he and Akil and Markel did the track, and then Pebbles says, okay, if you want if you want Left Eye to feature, I'm gonna get 80% of the money.
Ooh,
And then
yeah.
the four of you, Light and the rest was split 20%. And that's how that's why Left Eye didn't go on it. So but Teddy did he mixed it, but it was, it's his sound. But Mucho was the main producer with Markel, and
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm still leaving. Well, I can
You can
flip it
put it,
out, but
yeah,
that's my
yeah, yeah.
song, and
Okay.
all my childhood, it was Teddy. It said Teddy on the label.
I know.
So
It was his
sorry,
sound.
Mucho. But you do good work though, Mucho. But he's a company man, so that's what happens when you sign a corporate. You gotta. But, what's the next? What's yours?
So my next one is Let's Stay Together remix. Or extended remix. I'm not saying remix, but it's like the extended remix. It's extended remix, and I loved Aaron's vocals and how he sang on the track. I just loved, and as again, Dave Way was engineering of the album, that future album, and it was just and Tammy Lucas was singing background. Let's stay.
There we. It's like 6 degrees of Tammy Lucas.
Oh, I love Tammy, but
involved in everybody.
You have Aaron singing at his best, and you have Tammy just doing the backgrounds and in her so angelic voice and everything. And then if you listen to the extended remix, and New Jack fans would listen and say, yeah, it's just a beat, and then there's So that's one of my favorite. And I didn't realize when Damien said that was one of his favorite tracks, but that was after that they broke up because Teddy said, I'm leaving. I'm like, what? We just came out with Don't Leave, but Let's Stay Together, and you're leaving right after such an ironic song. Why? So yeah.
They probably hate that song now. So another one for me, this is really, it fluctuates. This could be number 1 for me, but it's number 3 right now. So In the Closet by Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I love that beat. I love that track. I love that song. That's like my favorite song on that album, In the Closet.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
It's so funky. Like Teddy, that was, to me, I never heard that. I think with that album, he pushed himself out of his comfort zone. You could just hear him doing things he'd never done before. I never heard that from him. So he was doing a lot of cool things. You know, it just makes you, every time you hear that song, you want to dance.
Yeah,
So
it's yeah, you know, he did a lot of, you know, the programming and the whole drops, and it was just so different. So, you know, it was the type of production that only Michael could have. You know, it was almost like
mhm.
Teddy being stretched and delivering something with that. Okay.
I feel
Um,
like Michael probably was involved with that though, because it just sounds like, so I could hear Michael beatboxing and saying, "This is what I want. This is what I hear." I can't do his
yeah,
voice, but you know, this is
yeah,
what I hear.
but
And
it was it was a shift for Teddy from his the way he did his drum beats and programming
yeah,
from his the Future album. Because think about Future and even the Jane Child Don't Want to Be in Fall in Love, that was his stuff before he went to Michael. So, you know, it was almost like he went from he went to Larrabee, which was, you know, in LA, one of the biggest and best. And it's almost with the legendary Bruce Sudine, where it was like, okay, how do you want it to sound? And he probably got turned up and got all the effects. You know, I don't know about the MP3s and stuff, but he probably got all the gadgets, because it's very, you don't really hear that kind of production on that Dangerous album anywhere else. You know, the door shutting in um, no, I Can Let It Get Away. No, even I Can Get a Let It Away. All the tracks, it was the production. In fact, I need to go listen to the album again. But yeah, that was a good one, In the Closet.
did you get a phone call or something?
No, all of a sudden I was looking at you and you just froze, and I'm thinking, oh, I wonder what he's doing. So
Well, I was trying too much because it'll probably come back into motion, and you know, well, okay, we're back on now. So okay,
okay, okay.
where were we at? Are you giving one or am I giving
So
one?
yeah, so you just did it, In the Closet.
Okay, and okay.
Yeah. So my next one is Right Here remix. No, sorry,
Oh, okay.
not Right Here. Sorry, I'm So Into You remix.
Oh, the I'm so into you. Oh, okay, okay.
This
Because there
is
is
the
some discrepancy with right here. We can't
yeah, not
really
not right here. No,
claim that. Okay, then.
I didn't really like that, but that's check one, check two with Rex and I
Mhm.
killed in the rap. They I just doom 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 doom. I don't. Then I just love that's probably
Yeah.
one. That's probably I should have, you know, if I'm thinking about my all one of my all five favorite Teddy
Oh,
tracks
that's
and mixes.
one of your all. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I just love the 'cause it I just loved the way it was back and forth. You know, and I love the extended remix with Rex and Effect in it. It was just um yeah, I don't know why, because you know, around that 92, 93, he was he probably enjoyed doing the remixes and stuff. It's like, okay, there's an idea, because he's
Mhm.
not as much as a writer, but he's a so so
Right.
it's been written for him, so it's like, let me take it to another level. Um but yeah, I yeah, loved that remix. I think it was yeah, one of his, probably one of his best, and others might
Mm.
dispute, but probably one of the best remixes. I know people might always say Jane Child Fall in Love, and I think, yeah, that was okay, but to me that was one of my favorite Teddy
Yeah,
remixes.
because I actually like that over that remix. But I do like the I do like the SWV I'm So Into You Teddy remix. It was actually on they had a remix album that came out after
Mm.
the first album. And they had the remix on there, but they didn't have the version with Rex and Effects. So
Yeah, so I think they had the All Star
that's
one.
yeah. So for me, so this is our last two, right?
Yeah, so yeah,
I
I've
got
got
two
one.
on there. I'm like,
You
I
got
got two
two
more
more,
names.
and I've got one
Okay.
more.
Oh no, I got one. I got one. I got one. Okay. So this one is pretty obvious, I guess. Most people, well, some people like part one, but I like part two. Teddy's Jam Part Two.
Okay.
Remember that one on
Yeah,
the Future
yeah. From
album?
the Future album. Yeah, it's very hard because I don't know what is going on. Do-do-do.
Yeah, I love that verse. I like the first one too, though. I like the
Yeah,
first one, but like I said, that's the one I really kind of grew up with.
yeah.
So
It was. But I don't know. It's a hard one, and it's a hard one because when I listen to both of them, I do struggle. I still struggle to think which one I prefer the most
which one is? Yeah.
because they released the second one as a single and had the video. It's a lot more familiar with us, um, um, than the first one.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah, but yeah, it's a hard one. It's a real hard one, and I know if we ask the fans, the community, they'll all point to the second one because it was there was a video. But I struggle
Yeah,
with the
that's the one I
but
like.
yeah, okay. Um, I think my ult. Do I say this is my ultimate? I don't know if it is, but One More Night by Bobby on the Bobby album.
Oh, okay.
um I remember speaking to Eric Williams, and he says that yeah, when he was with the Flex and they were trying to do production and Lowell Salles came in and says, look man, you guys are okay, but look at what Teddy's doing. And they just
Yeah.
said, man, we need to stop
Yeah. He's like,
producing
give me this, give me
give me
this.
this type of stuff. And he was like, yeah,
Yeah.
when stuff went and he dropped and he did the stuff, and he says Teddy doesn't know how to do that stuff anymore.
Right. Well, a lot of people they like that album and claim it's an inspiration for them. Most people talk about the Don't Be Cruel album, but that one's got a lot of bangers on there. That's a really really dope album.
It was my
So
I think to me, when I think of Teddy and I think of when he was at the
okay,
peak.
now I'm gonna say something this time. You're freezing.
Okay, so okay, no worry.
You're
When
freezing a little bit.
okay, when I think of Teddy at his sort of peak, it was 92, 90, 90,
Mm,
91 to 93.
92.
Because what happened in
Okay.
91, he did Dangerous, then he did Rex and Effect, he did the Bobby album, then he did the first Blackstreet album. And then
Mm,
in between then he did the SWV remix, and he was doing the Right Here, Right Here, the Human Nature remix. He did a number of different things, but he had he had his crew. So he had Tammy who had moved over there. He had Sprague and Bob, Sprague and Bob, yeah, and Mucho. Bob was there as well, doing a lot of writing for them with Levi. So he had everyone around, and
mm,
he had the right. He had Serban, who was one of the best engineers, who left and went on to do stuff with Pharrell and stuff. But he had the right crew, even with John Marie. But
right.
he had everyone. He had the whole thing, and he got nominated for a Grammy Award for Producer of the Year just off the material of the Bobby album. He
Mm,
didn't. He would have won if he could have been included. If he could have included his stuff on Dangerous, but because he co-produced it with Mike, he couldn't separate it. So he was the main producer on the Bobby album. So he got nominated for a Grammy. So he was at his heights, and
right.
yes, yeah. So, but
Okay.
anyway,
Well, it's
so that was mine. So, what about yours?
no, that was I already gave my last one. It wasn't a Teddy Jam too.
Okay,
But I
okay,
can give you some
okay. You give
honorable
it an
mentions
honorable
because I
mention.
like Get Away. I like Get Away from that Bobby album.
Okay,
Gotta get away.
yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. Of course, anything he did with Heavy D and the Boys. That was like the
Yeah.
reason I even was introduced. But I definitely now I believe he did that, and I got to go to work. Did
Yeah,
he do that one?
so he did.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did
he
that
did.
one.
Yeah,
I had like
I go
listened
to
to it in my
work.
head.
Yeah, I got the job. I get the
Yeah.
job done.
So those
So
those beats were crazy. Like his beats were just like very distinctive. Just they hit hard, and they you just can't help but dance when you hear them.
yeah,
I like his up tempo. I'm really into his up tempo.
I loved his Death Blow. Death Blow with Kumo D. I hit him with the Death Blow.
Oh, okay.
He when he gave him beats against a Cool J. Yeah, I would love to talk to Kumo D just to find out what he thoughts of those beats, because Teddy really came hard
What's going
with
on with
those
the
beats.
internet today?
Hmm? What do you say?
It must be the snowstorm. I think it's like a snowstorm. Maybe the
Okay, that's
snowstorm's going on.
right.
Oh, you know what? I just realized. You know what? I did skip one because I have
Yeah.
Rump Shaker sitting there
Yeah.
unspoken about.
Yeah, you
Rump
did.
Shaker is number one. Rump
Okay.
Shaker.
Okay.
My
Okay.
bad. I must have lost
Okay.
count because we got interrupted.
Yeah, got it,
But
shot.
Rump
Okay.
Shaker, I gotta say that before we get out of here, or I'm gonna be kicking myself just like I did with the new Jack City soundtrack thing. But yeah, Rump Shaker was just a moment. Like that song was just hot for like several summers. Like that was
Yeah.
always the summer jam. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And he was in this element that I mentioned. He came out with the Rex Effect, the Bobby, the Michael.
right,
He
right.
just magic. He was everything he touched was turning to gold. And I think we will just do an episode on Teddy because, as I said, I'm a massive fan. But
Yeah,
I somehow
those were
I
the
think
days.
Bobby, I think Diddy. I think sometimes I think he got distracted by watching Diddy, and
Yeah, he was trying
and
to
yeah, and I
follow
think he thought,
trends.
oh, this should be the trend, and he just left. I think that was the case because when he vacated, that people like Jermaine and Timbaland filled the void that he left when he was chasing that stuff, and I think he should have just,
Hmm.
I don't know, been on in Blackstreet. I just felt that that wasn't, he couldn't balance it because Diddy was an executive, was the behind the scenes guy who got into production. Teddy was always a music guy who tried to
Hmm.
do the production. And if you think about people like the creative people like Jamin Lewis or Babyface, they didn't do the administrative stuff. They didn't run the labels. Perspective,
Right.
didn't do as well as LaFace. I mean, they had a few hits. They had some real good music, solo and stuff. The only Mint Conditioner really did well, and Sound of Blackness made some noise, but they didn't sell the records like LaFace did. But they were
Right.
music. They focused on the music. But L.A. Reid said, "Okay, Babyface, I'm going to leave. I need to focus on the business side." So they ended their partnership as producing
Yeah.
team, and he focused on the business side, and he was being mentored by Clive Davis. So Babyface just got Daryl Simmons in, and they did the music. So and Diddy pretty much he had his hitmen, and he joined them, but he was always the business guy. I was where he
Business
worked.
mind.
He
Yeah.
always worked from the behind the scenes. So I think with Teddy, when he was given his little man the label, then he was with Blackstreet. He was trying to produce
Yeah.
and he was trying to run a label. I think it was just, and he wanted to have, I think, total control over everything. I think that
Yeah.
was where the music
I mean,
suffered.
in his defense, though, at that time, Diddy started that trend. Like everybody wanted to be Diddy. It wasn't just Teddy. Like a lot of people wanted to be the owner of the label, and you know, just the force behind the scenes and owning the label. And they saw what Diddy was able to do, and even Jermaine Dupri started trying to kind of do things like Diddy. Like a lot of people were following that blueprint.
Yeah, but there's a difference. When I spoke to KG from Divine Notes by Nature, he says, "Look, I was an artist and I didn't want to be, so I focused on the music." So when you
Hmm.
think of the music, the Next and Janae and Jaheim, when you think Coffee Brown, when you think about the music that was coming out of his camp, it was very consistent. It was very, he had the team that he was working, and he gave it to the labels. You push it out, you do that, your job. I'm just want to create the music. Um, I think R.
Hmm.
Kelly had he had a label Beats. Was it Beat K? No,
Rockland.
Rockland. Yeah, and he got a few soundtracks. He got Sparkle and he got the live soundtrack, but he didn't really. He I don't know why he probably thought, look, it's just not. He couldn't balance it out, so he just focused on himself and writing
Mm.
for other people. So he kept being relevant as a writer and producer for other people. But for Teddy, he lost a lot of originality because he was sampling a lot and he wasn't being as original and stuff from that mid
Yep.
'94 upward. Hmm?
Yeah, I was agreeing because I felt like, I mean, I liked that Blackstreet first album, but I felt like that was a kind of a signal of a change for Teddy, because the music was good, but it didn't sound innovative and pushing music forward.
Lots
It
of
felt like
sampling.
yeah, a lot of sampling and kind of following what's going on.
yeah.
So it wasn't bad. It was just,
Yeah,
not good.
he lost a lot. Yeah, lost a lot of the credit. I mean, he had the bit, he had a. So when you think of the, I like the way you work, and give me the beam me up pom pom and what I can't remember. Good Life, sorry, the Good Life, and he was sampling a lot of George Clinton. So he was like, oh, that's what they're doing on Dre's doing on the West Coast. So I'm going to start
Yeah,
sampling a lot of George Clinton, even Booty Call. So I think half of the album he sampled George Clinton. So almost trying to do what the West Coast was doing,
hmm,
what Dre was doing. So
yeah.
then you can see where, and then when he even started directing videos. So with for Queen Pin,
Oh
and
yeah. Mhm.
even so there
Spreading
was,
himself too thin.
hmm?
Because I think he was spreading himself too thin, in areas that he wasn't really
Yeah,
particularly well versed in, like
but then even
managing and
yeah,
directing and
managing,
all
yeah,
that. That's not his
just
thing.
just and then even the Queen Pin album, there it was a lot of samples. The Luther sample. There was, um, even the one with "It's
True.
True," which was a sample of Spandau Ballet. So it was sampling stuff, and so that was the innovation that he was known for when he was doing the stuff in the 80s and stuff. And I think in a way, I think he did miss Gene Griffin, who was a taskmaster,
Yeah.
and just kept him in the studio, kept him just working, and kept him being unique and
Kept them
different,
focused.
kept
Yeah.
him focused. But when became the boss, I think he just lost the, um, he just was like, well, what's going on there? What's going on there, and they just lost the originality of a lot of stuff. So I was disappointed with a lot of the sampling he was doing and stuff. And so anyway,
Well, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.
see you next time.